don't think anybody can tell, really, what's going to happen from one day to the next. But I'm not completely in hiding now, you know. I mean, I'm seen by people all the time. As far as appearing nationally, I think it would be silly, to say the least, to get back into something that's taken me this long to get out of. But I'd like to continue my music. I'd like to do some new things. To do some things that, because of contracts or something, couldn't be done in the past. But mostly, I just want to continue to entertain people. I've said it before, and it's something that is in my mind, and I just like to get into it as much as I used to. And I'm sure that sometime in the near future, it has to happen, but until it does, I'll just go on living as normal a life as I possibly can. I don't think anybody could have managed anything, but it worked any better than what has happened to me. Sometimes I feel like instead of being on an island, that I am an island, you know. It's kind of hard to go through this life. Just memories, and it seems like that's what I have now, but I would still like to give back a lot to people that have given so much to me. I'm hoping that a lot of people out there are not disappointed with me. I didn't mean to put anybody through any pain. It's taken a lot to have to do what I had to do. But I think in the long run that it's going to pay off. I believe that doing things this way has made it a lot easier for me and for everybody else to find out exactly what's going on as far as the music is concerned, and being able to make things happen better now. I don't know, life is very strange. I've gone through so many different type of experiences that I don't even know sometimes where I'm at, but I've learned a lot of the things I've gone through, and I'm always learning more. There isn't any way that you can stop learning. You have to continue to learn. I know there's a lot of movies that have come out in the past, and the recent past, but I haven't enjoyed it all. It's an interesting thing, but when you're involved in entertainment, you realize that there's a lot of things, like an image and various other things, that people try to portray. They try to make you a certain way. And I think they're doing the same thing with the movies, you know. They want to make things come out a certain way. And If they don't, well, I guess they feel they haven't done their job. But it's just like the drug thing that I was talking about. In movies, a lot of it is just simply not true. There isn't a lot that I can do about it. You know, I wish that they'd asked me about it before they ever made the movie, but there isn't a lot I can do right now. I do believe that there's a lot of people that will never forget, and that's good, because sometimes you feel as though you're the only one with any memories, and it's nice to feel that there are people that remember too. I'm looking forward to spending this coming Christmas in a new way. It's always been a very happy time of the year for me, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to possibly seeing some people that are going to be shocked. I'm just hoping that these people that I'm going to see, they won't be hurt. But I know that they're going to be shocked. And it's going to be good because Christmas time is a good time of year to make everything okay, to remember. And so, if there's ever a time that I could make an appearance, or that I could come out into the open, I think Christmas time would be it. I'm looking forward to a lot of new things in the future. I'll meet a lot of new friends, and I just think that I think it's going to be better this time. I can look out the window now. I can see a lot. I can see a lot more than I ever have. And I guess the reason for that is because now I can actually go to the place that I'm looking at, and I can be alone. I can be around people and do the type things that I'd like to do without having 100 people there at my side, you know. It's a different experience for me. It's a good experience. I realize that sooner or later it's probably going to end, you know. I'd hate to think that it's going to end, but I know sometimes secret has got to be figured out. If it hadn't been for being involved in what I'm involved in now, you know, things and such, maybe it's been different, but it's not, and I have to do my music. There's no getting around it. I just can't go on without entertaining. So hopefully things will work out better this time. I don't know. I just have to wait and see. I know that I've been very fortunate, as I said. The Lord has helped me through everything. And I don't see how this can be any different. I think there's new things coming. I think that it's going to be good for everybody. I'd like to finish the book that has already been started about my life as far as what I've been doing in the last 3 to 4 years. working on an album, something that I wanted to do in the last few years. I'm trying to get a hold of the people that have had me in the past, you know, to help me with the music, and put out maybe the best album that I'll ever put out. I don't know if we can get a hold of all the people, but we're working on it. And it's something that I think everybody can look forward to. I think a lot of people have given me the chance to continue without bringing me too far out into the open. It's taken a lot to get me in hiding, and it would be a shame if things just turned around in 5 seconds. But it's given me a lot of time to work, whereas before I didn't have any time to work. I just constantly had to keep doing the same things over and over again as far as music is concerned. And I keep putting out the same things all the time. It's hard to get something the way you want it, to change it drastically if you've been used to the way you've been doing it in the past, and especially if you haven't got any time. I didn't have any time before. My time was taken up. And this is different. This gives me a chance to really get into something. To make it a piece of material that I can do the way I want to do it, instead of the way somebody is telling you they want some way and this and that. And just making it a big, sometimes I call it a mess, you know. I just have to do things this time the way I want it, and I think it will work a lot better. The first album that we've already released is something that was done a few months ago. I enjoyed it, but I'll tell you, I didn't really think that we'd ever release it. There's a lot of remembering all the songs, and we tried some new songs and things, and it was a lot of fun, you know. I had a lot of fun doing it. And like the next album that we put out, I really hope that we can get a hold of everyone that has that in the past, because it's going to be it would be a rewarding experience to think that everything could work so smoothly. My whole life has been something out of a dream, and to have this happen, I mean to get all the people together, have me in the past, to help with a new album. After everything that's already happened, it would have to be the biggest experience in my life, and I'm certain it would be good for them too. I'm looking forward to it. And you know, many times we despair, and we think that our just somehow passed us by. But you know, dreams can come true. I get lonesome sometimes. I get lonesome right in the middle of a crowd.
Are you lonesome tonight?
Elvis Aaron Presley is gone, but he's definitely not forgotten. An American legend whose myth has grown tenfold since his death, the king is worshipped with vigils to his final resting place. But there are some who believe that Elvis is resting somewhere else.
People ask me all the time where I'm living, and naturally I can't say, but it's a good place to hide.
Could Elvis Presley still be alive? Could he have hoaxed his own death? Author Gail Brewer Giorgio has a story that will make you wonder.
It's an incredible story. You know, well, what is it? Oh, she can prove Elvis is alive. Well, I'm not really doing that. You know, I'm asking a lot of questions.
Gail's saga began in 1977 when she wrote the novel Orion. Her character Orion was loosely based on Elvis, but in her story, Orion fakes his death to escape his prison of fame. Prior to publication, her manuscript made its way to Nashville, and Sun Records brought her character to life with a masked singer they called Orion. His voice was incredibly familiar.
I was getting a lot of very unflattering calls, too, of people saying, are you trying to perpetuate a hoax, you know, with the singer Orion? I said, all I did was write, I sat down one day and wrote a book of fiction. That's all.
Gail didn't sue Sun Records for borrowing her character. It was 1981, and Elvis mania had expanded. While the Presley estate was pulling in more millions by the year, Gail and Sun Records were priming for success with an Orion movie deal. But suddenly, something went wrong. Gail's newly released novel disappeared from shelves. Orion the singer disappeared, and fans called Gail wanted to know why. Others called to say Gail was too close to the truth.
I'm like a Mississippi bullfrog sitting on a hollow stump.
I heard from him about 3 or 4 weeks ago, yeah. I was hoping to hear from him again, but sometimes, you know, everybody in the world's trying to find him except the major. I'm the only person that believes that he's alive.
The idea that Elvis might be alive seemed far-fetched, to say the least. But as Gail attempted to resurrect her novel Orion from oblivion, she found herself drowning in the mystery of Elvis and the questions that were not answered.
2020 did an hour show on the cover-up in the death of Elvis Presley.
She wrote about it.
There were many things that Geraldo Rivera brought out. The autopsy, the remains being destroyed, all official documentation missing from the files, and there's a list of them.
Why was no police investigation made into his death? Why was there no medical effort toward determining the cause of his death? Why were fans insisting that the body they viewed was not Elvis? For Gail, whose fiction now seemed strangely true, the writing was on the gravestone. Elvis's middle name, Aaron, was misspelled with 2 A's rather than 1.
And I thought, now why would a man deliberately misspell the most famous name in the world? It just didn't make sense.
She wrote about it.
I had been looking frantically for several albums. And they're on the bottom, of course.
Today, Elvis artifacts are worth their weight in gold. Elvis 56 is making big bucks for media home entertainment. Fans comb the world for collector's albums, including this Jerry Lee Lewis album. Before his death, Elvis claimed to have recorded with Jerry. Sun Records now claims the voice is Orion's.
Listen to me, Jerry. They don't know what you're talking about. You keep on talking and trash. A gal's gonna throw you out. It wouldn't happen with me.
And definitely his nose was not pug. It was
There
very,
seemed no end to this mystery. When a woman from Memphis appeared at Gail's door last spring claiming to have a tape of Elvis recorded in 1981, Gail was amazed.
It's been enjoyable, but it's been a constant battle of growing beards and this and that to keep from being recognized.
On the 30-minute cassette of edited phone conversation, Elvis talks about hiding and growing beards, things Elvis prior to 1977 would never have said.
I'm not completely in hiding now, you know. I mean, I'm seen by people all the time. As far as appearing nationally, I think it would be silly, to say the least, to get back into something that's taken me this long to get out of.
To verify the tape, Gail had it analyzed by a voice print expert who concluded that the voice was indeed Elvis Presley's. There is no method of determining the date it was recorded, so for Gail, it's just another piece of the puzzle.
I don't know where it's going to go. Every day I come up with new information. Every day I wonder if I'm even doing the right thing. And then I think about Orion. That was my novel, and that suffered, and that should not have occurred. There's no way for me to even get my book back out unless I tell the story of what happened.
If Elvis Presley is alive, it would be the hoax of the century. Regardless, there will always be someone out there to keep Elvis on the comeback trail, and those who believe that Elvis lives.
I said, honey, if you don't tell anybody, I said, I won't. And right then and there in the supermarket, she started crying. And I said, honey, don't you cry.
Is your heart filled with pain? Shall I come back again? Tell me, dear, are you lonesome tonight?
It's a strange thing, you know.
Well, perhaps the most convincing piece of evidence that suggests that Elvis may still be alive is the mystery audio tape. Now let's take a brief listen before we continue.
Well, at the time, I had a beard and I lost a few pounds. And I thought it would be very, very hard for anyone to recognize me.
All right, this tape was released to the general public in Gail Giorgio's book, Is Elvis Alive? Now, at the time, the origin of the tape was unknown. But since the publication of that book, new information has been uncovered. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce Maria Columbus, the president of the oldest Elvis Presley fan club. Hi, Maria. Okay. Now, Maria, will you please tell us about the tape?
Okay. I received this tape in 1981 from Steve Chances from Florida. He had written a book called Elvis, Where Are You? Now, on this tape, you only hear Elvis speaking. The person he was speaking to was edited out.
Yes, I noticed. I noticed that. Well, part of it was edited out. Why would anyone edit out one of the parts of the conversation? That sounds sort of suspicious to me.
Yes, it's suspicious to me, too. The only thing I could think of is that the person did not want to be recognized. But I believe it is Elvis speaking.
Curiouser and curiouser. All right, we brought in an audio analyst to find out if the voice on the tape is, in fact, that of Elvis Presley.
Have 2 years of sobering Army life changed your mind about rock and roll?
Sobering Army life? No, it hasn't. It hasn't changed my mind because I was in tanks for a long time, you see. And they rock and roll quite a bit.
I started traveling all over the world, and it's been enjoyable, but it's been a constant battle of growing beards and this and that to keep from being recognized.
Who was recorded during that 1981 phone conversation? Was it Elvis Presley? One way we can find out is to utilize some tools from law enforcement to electronically contrast and compare the voice of the real Elvis Presley and the voice on the tape. L.H. Williams works with a major police department in Texas and is an expert on audio voice prints, and here is his report.
Gail had sent me a copy of a transcript of the tape recording of the unknown person, and this was 4 pages long. In this process, I also requested copies of known tape recordings of Elvis Presley, and I followed the guidelines that were established during the Watergate case for possible authentication of the tape recording. I selected the same words and phrases of the known and the unknown person for comparison purposes. This is the known sample of Elvis Presley stating the word music. This is a sample from the unknown tape recording showing the word music. The formats that were formed fall within the same frequency range through here, which would indicate a match. Basically, the known voice of Elvis Presley compared with the voice on this tape is the same.
Now let's assume for a second that this test conclusively proves that Elvis made this recording. Can we be sure that it was made after 1977? We've made a transcription of the recording, and we've marked down specific things that the caller said. If any one of these comments describes events that happened after Elvis's alleged death, then the argument that he might still be alive is stronger.
People ask me all the time where I'm living, and naturally I can't say, but it's a good place to hide. And there was an island that I had learned about a long time ago, and I guess I always knew that someday I'd probably have to use it. Anyway, I must have spent a year on the island. I started traveling all over the world, and it's been enjoyable, but it's been a constant battle of growing beards and this and that to keep from being recognized. And I guess about 2 years ago, I went to Europe, which is something I've always wanted to do, something I've wanted to do for a long time. I realized that sooner or later, it's probably going to end. You know, I hate to think that it's going to end, but I know sometime the secret has got to be let out. If it hadn't been for getting involved in what I'm involved in now, you know, things as such, maybe it'd been different.
Well, I think that last statement speaks for itself. But, Maria, let me ask you about some of the other things that we heard. Prior to his death, had Elvis ever spent a year on an island, any island?
No, he didn't. He never spent a year away from the public eye. He was in the public eye all the time. We would have heard about it.
All right, when Elvis was 24, we know that he was in the Army and he went to Europe. But did he go to Europe 2 years before that?
No, the first time he went to Europe was when he was going to Germany in the Army in 1958.
Now, so far, we've introduced...
I'm working on an album, something that I wanted to do in the last few years. I'm trying to get a hold of the people that have helped me in the past, you know, to help me with the music, and put out maybe the best album that I'll ever put out. I don't know if we can get a hold of all the people, but we're working on it. And it's something that I think everybody can look forward to. I think a lot of people have given me the chance to continue without bringing me too far into the open. It's taken a lot to get me in hiding, and it would be a shame if things just turned around in 5 seconds. But it's given me a lot of time to work, whereas before I didn't have any time to work. I just constantly had to keep doing the same things over and over again as far as music is concerned. And I kept putting out the same things all the time. It's hard to get something the way you want it, to change it drastically if you've been used to the way you've been doing it in the past, and especially if you haven't got any time. I didn't have any time before. My time was taken up. And this is different. This gives me a chance to really get into something. To make it a piece of material that I can do the way I want to do it, instead of the way somebody is telling me they want some way and this and that, and just making it a big, sometimes I call it a mess, you know. I just have to do things this time the way I want it, and I think it will work a lot better. And the first album that we've already released is something that was done a few months ago. I enjoyed it, but I'll tell you, I didn't really think that we'd ever release it. There was a lot of remembering all the songs, and we tried some new songs and things, and it was a lot of fun, you know. I had a lot of fun doing it. And like the next album that we put out, I really hope that we can get a hold of everyone that has that in the past, because it's going to be it would be a rewarding experience to think that everything could work so smoothly. My whole life has been something out of a dream, and to have this happen, I mean to get all the people together, had me in the past, to help with a new album. After everything that's already happened, it would have to be the biggest experience in my life, and I'm certain it would be good for them too. I'm looking forward to it.